It's 9 o'clock at the Burger King. The regular crowd waddles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, jerking off while he's taking a shit. He says, "Son, can you show me your penis, please? I'm not really sure how it grows, but it's red and it's pink and I knew it would stink when you wore a younger man's hose." La 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 doo doo da, la la shitty la da dum. Shit on my balls, you're the piano man. Shit on my balls tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a comedy, and you just ate chili cheese fries. Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my twinks for free, and he's quick with a stroke while he lights up your smoke, but he'd rather be drinking your pee. He says, "Bill, I believe Jesus killing me as my child dripped off of his face. Well, I'm sure that I could be an influencer if I could keep cum from my face." Oh, la la la, shitty da, la la doo doo da da da. Now Paul is a really shit novelist who writes about his sad little life, and is talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably some sailor's wife. And the waitress is adjusting her big old tits as the businessman slowly gets done. Yes, they're sharing a drink they call Bloody Piss, but it's better than drinking alone. Shit on my balls, you're the piano man. Shit on my balls tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a comedy, and you just ate chili cheese fries. It's a pretty big cock that I'm swallowing, and the manager gives me a smile, 'cause he knows that it's me who's blowing him for free to forget about his wife for a while. And the piano, it smells like a glory hole, and the microphone shoved up my rear, and they sit at the bar, throw up jizz in my jar. I say, "Can you mix that in my beer?" Oh, la la la, diddy da, la la, shitty da da da. Shit on my balls, you're the piano man. Shit on my balls tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a comedy, and you just ate chili cheese fries. Welcome to another edition of Your Village People. We are in mourning. Forgive us. It is Friday, January 17th, and for once, I'm actually telling the truth.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, pick up your mic if you're gonna talk.
Shut the fuck up. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it actually is.
Oh yeah. It is, as I said, January.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Now
Sorry.
who's lying?
I love telling false.
I love spreading misinformation.
Oh yeah, I love spreading misinformation. And
I can't wait for
voter fraud.
I can't wait for when misinformation is so widespread that people are genuinely being tricked into thinking it's another day than it is.
Oh yes. Can't wait for the day.
Cannot wait for the day, folks. I am wearing my David Lynch shirt in honor of the passing of Sir David Lynch. Yes, he was knighted. I knighted him.
Well, yes.
He's a knight. He's a village knight, and he's resting, or he will be resting in the Village Forever Cemetery.
Can I wear that shirt to work?
Why, yes.
I feel like I'll get tips
Okay.
by David Lynch fans. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I miss him. Here's money," you know?
Yes, and they'll just spout some weird Twin Peaks,
and I'm gonna have no idea what they're talking about.
Electricity.
I'm gonna be like one of those people who wear band shirts and they have no idea who the band is.
Yeah. Name 3 albums by David Lynch.
Twin Peaks.
He's also a musician, so
oh my God.
Yeah, it works. It works.
All right, well, guys, even though I've only seen like one David Lynch movie, and that's only
not like one,
and that's only as of last night,
less than 12 hours ago.
Shut up. That doesn't mean that I still don't have a deep respect for him, and I want to use this T-shirt to get tips.
That does not mean I may have only seen my first David Lynch film less than 12 hours ago, but that does not mean I'm unwilling to exploit it for financial gain in his death.
If anything, it's just gonna like spark conversation.
So, as you may notice, today is a special day. There's a reason why I'm telling the truth about the date, and it is because
we're actually recording on the day.
We're actually recording on the day, but more importantly, we are recording. No.
Sorry.
But more importantly, we are recording live in Village headquarters.
Oh yes,
Village Studios.
We are.
We are together. We are touching. We are.
Please don't touch me.
We are vibrating.
Tenji's here. Thank you, Tenji.
Yes. I came.
You came?
I came.
I'm going to come.
Sara is trying to get her cat to speak.
All she's doing is just like rubbing her head on the mic because she loves us and trying to eat Zack's hair.
Her favorite pastime. She better get it in while she can, because I am leaving as soon as the podcast ends. But it's not all bad news, because while we lost a real shooter this week, we also gained a ceasefire in Palestine. Wait, actually, haven't done that in a while. And with the news of the ceasefire, it's becoming clear that Biden is basically becoming the anti-Carter. He one term. I have been there.
Have you really?
No. Where is it? Virginia, Goochland County, Virginia. Anyways, let's try and focus.
Sorry, it's also right next to Maidens, which is funny.
Maidens.
Maidens.
The maidens love going to Goochland.
Oh, I know that's right.
They be going down to Goochland, if you know what I mean. Down on it.
That gooch.
Get down on it. Yeah, I mean, his one term defined by a bunch of fumbling and stumbling. And whereas Jimmy Carter was trying to free hostages in Iran, and Reagan got Iran to not release them until he was inaugurated or he won the election. I can't remember which one. So too Biden was trying to I guess technically you could say he was trying to release hostages, but he was trying to keep people dying rather than saving lives.
Yeah.
And Mr. Reagan 2.0, Donald Trump, prevented Israel from doing a ceasefire until he gave the go-ahead. So yeah, he's basically the anti-Carter. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here
because we also, I mean, I am appreciative of what they're doing, but again, I'm not gonna believe it till I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already saw something that, like, since the ceasefire, they've already, like, how many people they've killed since the fucking ceasefire has been announced. It's like, okay, so what ceasefire, guys? Are we actually gonna cease the fire, or is it a little joke?
Yeah.
So, obviously it takes time. They have a plan and phases and everything, but, like, you know, first step is just, I don't know, stop dropping bombs. No, like, that's actually insane. And it's just like, we are going to speak on this for a second because I do have.
It's kind of like how Holocaust survivors weren't allowed to, like, eat too quickly or else they could die. Israelis have to, like, phase out the genocide, otherwise they could, I don't know, die.
You haven't killed a Palestinian in 12 hours.
Go through withdrawals like fucking Daniel Craig and Queer.
Oh my god. But
Sorry,
yeah, I just looking at, like, the satellite images of Gaza and, like, how much they've already fucking destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They have a reason for destroying that because they want the fucking land.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get rid of the Palestinians
Trump
and
Heights.
they want to develop the land.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden
Vegas.
they don't want to do that anymore?
Yeah, no.
Like, no, they still want to do that.
No, they're just sort of recouping, recuperating, charging up for the next wave.
I mean, yeah, as unfortunate as it is, like, this is the stupid, like, temporary ceasefire. Best,
this will be a respite.
Remember, like, the 2023 Thanksgiving ceasefire?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so you're going to allow, they're going to order.
Broken by, like, raids.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's like, okay, you're going to claim to open the border crossing in Rafah into Egypt. Only at certain times, still. So only a certain amount of people can escape. You're not allowing people to actually leave.
Oh, you're talking about post October 7th. You said Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yeah, and, like, one of the phases is to reopen the Rafah crossing periodically to let people leave. Periodically. Why don't you just fucking open it?
Yeah.
Because you don't actually want to. You don't want to. You don't want to actually let any of these people leave. It's infuriating because, yes, this is exactly what we've been wanting, but it just feels so fake and disingenuous. And yeah.
Disingenuous.
Well, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm with you. But, you know, I guess I was just trying to inject some positivity in.
Oh, sorry.
But
I didn't
that's
mean to
okay.
shit on the...
It
is still positive because it's a start.
We don't cope here. We acknowledge what is in front of us. So. Any? I know you don't like choosing, but do you have any? Is there anything you'd like to start with?
I had a choice.
Okay. No, don't worry. Right. So, like I said,
start seizing.
We start seizing more than a IDF soldier going through genocide withdrawals.
Oh my god.
Sir, you need to stop these bad habits.
You need to go to Goochland.
That Daniel Craig needs to go to Goochland. These are not what we are. These are not the things we are here to talk about. We are here to talk about movies from the year of our Lord 2024. 2024. Fuck it. Let's do.
Bookie. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's do Conclave.
This is a conclave. Conclave. It's conclave.
The Pope is dead. The throne is vacant.
The conclave begins now. We're about to choose the most famous man in the world.
And 1.25 billion souls watching.
Let's say this is a pretty fair vision of hell. Well, don't be blasphemous, Ray. Hell arrives tomorrow when you bring in the Cardinals.
No sane man would want the papacy.
Some of our colleagues seem to want it.
Another cardinal has just turned up. He was never on our list.
He has to be an imposter.
You look anxious. Everything under control.
Gay Pope.
So, Conclave. It is movie about a bunch of gossiping popes or cardinals. It's about a bunch of tweeting little birds. The woke pope has died.
Not the woke Pope.
It is up to
The Dean of Popes.
the dean of popes and the Bellini of popes. It is up to the liberal.
It's up to the Peach Bellini.
It's up to the libtard cardinals to
The other gays.
to not let the Trump cardinal win.
It's basically just the 2016 election in the form of gay cardinals.
Why 2016?
I don't know.
I mean, it literally came out during an election year.
Wait, more like 2020.
If you say it's the 2020 election, that means that Cardinal is Biden.
But if we say 2024, that means you're saying Trump is.
I wasn't going to say it was a specific election.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Anyways, so it's basically like what happens if our current pope died, but if also that.
Is our current pope woke?
Yeah, by pope standards, yes.
That's right. I do remember his.
He's pro-gay and he's pro-Palestine.
I was gonna say I know for sure he was pro-Palestine because of
the
nativity scene. He put the little kafir and the nativity scene and the nativity scene had a little kafir.
Sure, but that was also after he did the more important thing of starting a Vatican investigation into the genocide.
Well, yes, that too. But that kafir was more recent. Kafir.
Kofia?
The kafir and then the
Kofia?
Kafir.
Kefia?
Kafir.
Kefia?
Kafir.
Kefir.
Kafir. It's in the nativity
Kefir
scene, so that was more recent. Sorry, that was just the first thing that came to my mind.
It was literally like a couple weeks apart, maybe.
Anyways, gay pope.
So yes, all the little popes.
Hi, Dee.
GG, welcome back to the village.
Oh, that was so cute.
Yeah, so basically, it's election season in the Vatican, and the liberals are not so popular, and but also neither is the Trumpian Cope.
Tedesco.
Tedesco. Nandare Tedesco.
No, it's okay. You don't have to.
But neither is Tedesco, the conservative Pope candidate. there is scandal and intrigue and gossip. The front runner for Pope, Ralph Fiennes, Ray Fiennes, discovers that he has never downloaded porn or molested an underage person.
Slay.
And so he tells him that he can never be Pope. Sarah, what did you think about Conclave?
It was cunty. I was surprised.
All the cunty little popes.
No, for real. They were really quite cunty. They were so gossipy from the very beginning. Like, you weren't kidding. They love to spill that tea.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just watching Gigi. She's so
Domine
cute.
Pantre Santa Maria. I think this is one that we should not spoil.
No, I was agreeing with. So, like, the thing is that I can't speak much on this because...
Yeah, well, the main character is... Yeah, it's just, I mean, honestly, it's just like it's like American and European current day politics, but infused into a story about a bunch of gay little popes. And it's very it's kind of cheating because of the setting. It's shot, I assume, in the Vatican.
They're allowed to do that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it definitely was. Conclave.
Film location.
Thank you. Google's gonna be like, Rome, dipshit.
Yeah, let's get the AI. No, literally, the AI said Rome.
On location in Rome, yeah. Okay. With a number of real-world sites appearing in the film.
See, look at that.
What?
It just said that it wasn't the Sistine Chapel was a set.
It was?
Because it said that that studio that they used in Italy has sets of this already. Because
sure.
like they
makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, the sets are very beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it makes sense that they would go all out. Like Rome would go all out and make recreations of these for movies.
Cheating to say like, oh, a lot of the shots look like paintings because it's just shots of works of art in the Vatican. But that being said, it is still a very gorgeous movie. Also,
beautiful.
The score was also very dramatic, but simple. It was a very pleasing, both narrative, the score, and the camera, not the shot, the framing, the shots, everything was just perfect. I am giving this A plus with an asterisk because I think it could be elevated to S possibly at some point. It needs some shelf time. I need to come back to it after some time has passed and reevaluate. So for now, I'm giving it an A plus.
I agree with that rating.
Thank you. Okay. So you're going to also give it an A plus, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Conclave. It's a movie for your grandparents, but you'll love it too. Next. You know what? We should take a little tangent, and we should Sarah, what did you do you have thoughts that you would like to share on Problemista or I Saw the TV Glow, or would you just like to give them their grading?
Can I just give the grading since y'all already spoke on it? I think I will give TV Glow an A-. And wait, if I'm giving this an A, I'll give it. We gave Conclave an A+.
Yeah.
I'll give a TV Glow. What?
First you called it TV Glow, now it's a TV Glow.
Shut the fuck up. Can I just give my rating?
Glow.
I know.
I saw a TV Glow.
Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. I was just listening to Rina Sawayama in my head, okay?
I was wondering if you were, because that wasn't really on beat.
Give it your
Like,
fucking rating, please.
Okay, I've been trying to. And I would give it an A. I saw the TV Glow, bitch.
Okay.
And
Not necessary.
yes, it is, because I shortened it and you got mad at me. You were making fun of me.
TV Glow, I didn't say anything. Then you said a TV Glow.
Shut the fuck up. It was an accident.
Okay.
And I would give Buena Sorry, I yawned a little bit.
Alright, what's the film?
Problemista.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give that an A-.
And did you ever watch Hitman?
Nar.
Okay.
Is that like based off of the video game?
No, it's not actually.
Wait.
It's the Capybara movie.
Yes, I did see that.
Oh, you did?
I did watch the Capybara movie.
Okay. So, do you remember when I first saw it? And I hated it?
You hated it?
Yeah.
Why did you hate it?
Well, me and Tony talked about this. I'm not exactly... I mean, basically, it was like... The dialogue was very grating to me. Like, the performances were all very, like... So, I didn't elaborate this properly when me and Tony talked a bit about it, but it gave off anti-movie for me. And Richard Linklater's movies, a lot of them are anti-movies in the way, like, of narrative. Like, they are pretty, like, non-narrative driven. They're character studies, and the narrative is not. It's almost just not there. This felt like anti-movie. Like, there was plot. It was very plot driven. But
Very plotful.
But the characters were behaving like aliens to me, and it felt like a NBC comedy. But that was my first time, and it literally, I mean, it was grating to me. Like, I hated it.
Wow.
I wanted you to watch it because I thought you would hate it too. But and then I was excited to talk about it with Tony because he loved it. And so I was like, oh yes, we're gonna have a disagreement. This is gonna be great. But when I rewatched it, I enjoyed it much, much, much more. So what were your thoughts on Hitman?
It was sexy.
It was sexy. I can recognize that both my first time watching and my second. But even the sexiness was just, I mean, I would say even the second time, the sexiness was a bit cringe. That's what the movie felt like.
No, I get what you're saying. Because, I mean, it's Capybara Man, so it's always going to be a little cringy.
That was, I mean, he added to it, but I mean, the script is a little cringy. So it was sexy is what you're...
Yeah, I'm also, like, rereading the plot because it's been a couple of months since I watched it. Just to get... I know what happened, but I just have to...
Skimming through
refresh.
Wikipedia while reviewing movies on a podcast.
Shh. I've watched it.
Nothing wrong
But I've also gone through a lot of things.
1, nothing wrong with me.
I forget.
2, nothing wrong with me. 3, nothing wrong with me. 4, nothing wrong with me. 5, nothing wrong with me. 6, nothing wrong with me. 7, nothing wrong with me. 8, nothing wrong with me. 9, nothing wrong with me. 10, nothing wrong with me.
I can't believe I forgot they literally killed him.
They
What?
they literally killed a man. Yeah.
They literally killed a man at the end of the movie.
The final act is just insane, and just yeah. I mean,
And then
I
it's just like, oh, and then they were married with 2 kids.
I think part of it was I genuinely did not expect it to be a comedy. I expected it to be maybe like a funny drama in the way that like Anora is a funny drama.
I see, yeah.
So that's part of, I think, the
Cognitive dissonance.
that I was experiencing the first time. So what are you gonna grade Hitman?
Oh, God. B. I'll get a B.
Oh, okay. So you're like right in the middle of me and Tony. All right. Well, let's move on to something easy. We can get it out of the way quick. Juror número 2.
It was last October. It was raining, and I hit something. I got out the car and I looked around. I checked, I didn't see anything, and I figured it was a deer that ran off.
Okay, what's the problem?
I got called for jury duty. The Kendall Carter case?
1 year ago, on October 25th, the defendant, James Scythe, and his then girlfriend, Kendall Carter, they had a fight. And he's gonna pay for what he did.
What are you telling me?
Maybe I didn't hit a deer.
Let me just ask you one thing. Did you guys ever look at any other suspect? You know what to do.
Clint Eastwood's final film. Juror
Is it
number
his
2.
final film?
That's what I heard.
Damn. So he's not gonna go out with a bang.
No, definitely not.
Yikes.
He's gonna go out with a very formulaic whimper.
That's why I was so shocked when I saw that at the end, that this was a Clint Eastwood movie.
I know, it really doesn't feel like one.
Yeah, because it's bad.
Yeah, that's one part of it. I also feel like the like Netflix cinematography it also does not fit in.
Yeah.
So yeah, juror number 2. Juror number 2. So it's like so it's like it's like a Netflix 12 Angry Men. But the twist, which the twist comes in the first 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that is standing up for the innocent man on trial is actually the perpetrator of the crime. I guess spoilers for this one, because honestly there's no point in watching the movie if you know what it's about. Like, I'm very glad that I did not know what to expect. Because, I mean, I will say, like, it is the middle, I guess, parts of it are pretty exciting because of that twist, if you can call it that. Basically, Nicholas Hoult has been is a soon-to-be father, a recovering alcoholic, and closeted British man.
Why is he always playing non-British people? It's so weird.
I mean, because he's
An actor.
an actor in America.
I know, but just like be British.
Just be yourself, Nicholas. Right. So he gets called in for jury duty, like in his wife's like last trimester of pregnancy.
Of a high-risk pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. And
Oh my god, I'm cold.
bundle up, girl.
Oh, but then I have to hold mic. That's hard to hold
Don't
mic with
completely bundle up. Just get a blanket. Careful though with the ashtray. Right, so he gets called in for jury duty and attempts to get himself dismissed unsuccessfully. And once the case is revealed to him, he starts to realize that he may be the actual guilty party. It turns out that... Do you remember what was the... Oh, did they have a miscarriage? Is that what he was like upset about when he almost backslid?
Oh, I honestly didn't even catch what the reason was for him being at the bar in the first place.
I think it was like soon after a miscarriage, I want to say.
Makes sense.
I think him and his wife, because like high-risk pregnancy, yeah. So I think they had a miscarriage, and he went to the bar and ordered a drink, but did not drink it. So he maintained his sobriety. At the same time that he's contemplating taking that drink or not, there's a messy straight couple getting into a fight very publicly. He leaves the bar at the very beginning of that fight, but remains in his car, I believe, while the fight is at its climax, and then basically leaves at the same time.
A little after, because she's on foot.
Right, so he leaves a little bit after the couple that is fighting leaves, and it's dark and rainy, and he hits what he thinks is, what he thought at the time was a deer, but as he's listening to the details of the crime, realizes that it must have been this woman that he hit. So he goes to his his AA sponsor, Kiefer Sutherland, who gives him some of the most insanely unethical advice ever, which is just let
this man go to prison.
Yeah, because otherwise you are absolutely fucked, because you are a known alcoholic, and I mean, it's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I guess it is technically, I mean, it's a hit and run, I suppose.
Yeah, that too. Oh, sorry. Oh,
in
wow.
that sense. So, yeah, the movie basically just consists of him simultaneously trying to advocate for the boyfriend of the victim, advocate for his innocence, but while also sabotaging other attempts at exonerating him, essentially. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to get the guy off, but he also wants to get off himself. He wants to get everybody off.
I need to get my dick sucked.
Oh yeah, I'll do it for free.
Drop to your knees.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh.
But he should be getting his wife off, is what he should be doing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so J.K. Simmons is on the jury, and he's like an ex-cop, and they think they're gonna start like an investigation together, but at the first like chance Nicholas Hoult gets, he like drops
I
the
hated that on
evidence.
purpose.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want anything to
He
do
drops
with
the
it.
evidence that J.K. Simmons had collected and gets him thrown off of the panel. So yeah, it's it's just he's basically just having a moral quandary. Yeah, like I said, the middle is kind of exciting, but the movie as a whole is very very dry and bland visually. No real standout performances at all. Everyone's either like baseline believable or kind of just like, again, like NBC primetime type character. Yeah, pretty forgettable, pretty shitty for a last outing for a very good director. And yeah, Sarah, what do you think about Juror number 2?
It was bad. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy just you know the twist so early on that you'd expect that, oh, okay, so this really isn't that big of a thing. There's going to be something bigger at the end. No. Like, I was waiting for him to get fucking arrested or something, or like nothing fucking happens.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not exactly my issue. Like, I don't have an issue with the ending. The ending works for me.
Well, I just think, like, they did all of this build-up for him and for just it kind of nothing to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the consequences, there's no... It's implied consequences. Yeah, I don't know. I see what you mean. But I think maybe if the rest of the movie had been better, that ending would not
Exactly
be so bad.
Yeah. Like, if they didn't reveal all of that until like closer to the end and then he gets away with it, I think that would make a lot more sense. But it's like the way that they let us know about him being the actual killer technically at the beginning kind of makes me think, okay, so now they're gonna try to find a way to like get this guy off, and then the movie, like, they're gonna fucking figure out it was him, which I guess technically the prosecutor does. But like it was just kind of lame. Like, it wasn't very...
The movie is about the moral quandary.
Yeah.
And not the comeuppance. Like, we all know it's going to happen. Like, the end of the movie pretty much solidifies that. I think the problem is that there is not any interesting wrestling being done with that moral quandary. There's not enough internal or external back and forth. It's just kind of like he's just kind of like sliding through the movie without consequences pretty much until the end. And he does have like it is a crisis for him. I just don't feel like it's expressed enough. Yeah,
the movie is bad.
It's a C- for me.
Yeah, I'd give it the same. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like one watch. I mean, it's not like it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, the pace is pretty good. Like I said, the performances are serviceable. For the star power that's involved, I was
shocked.
It's pretty underutilized.
Yeah. Like, I
can't throw J.K. Simmons in there and not have him be vital and not have him like.
Yeah. I was expecting him to come back and
yes,
be a part of that.
I will give you that. He should have been a part of taking Nicholas's character down. He's there and then he's gone and you never hear from him again. He's got that moment with the prosecutor, but yeah, it's just he should have been like the antagonist or like one of the antagonists.
Yeah. Agreed.
So you're echoing my C-.
Yeah.
Well, let's do. All right, next up is Janet Planet.
Can I hold your hand?
It's kind of hard for me to fall asleep when we're holding hands.
How about for a minute? You know what's funny?
What?
Every moment of my life is hell.
You actually seem very happy to me a lot of the time.
It's hell. I don't think it'll last, though.
I'm actually pretty unhappy, too.
If you go down to heaven.
It's about a mother and a daughter's relationship. And kind of like from the point of view of the daughter, and just these over a course of mostly this summer. The end of the movie, she is starting school, but
It's still called summer. It's not summer break.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's just kind of her life with her mom from her point of view over this summer, and like these characters that her mom brings in to the home. I didn't find it to have really anything like. There was like a very specific plot. Like there obviously was a plot, but it was just.
It's a slice of life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is very Linklater actually, in the more traditional sense.
And it was very beautifully shot. I liked a lot of the way that they framed a lot of the shots.
The way they shot
it was very,
like, people's bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very,
faces.
very intentional. And it adds to it a lot. Because it's supposed to be a point of view movie, like, from this daughter, and it's from a child specifically. She's 11. And so I think the way that everything is framed, it adds to that, because it's kind of like you can tell, like it makes you feel like you're the daughter looking at the mother, or like, and stuff like that. And I'm specifically thinking of that one shot that we were talking about with when she was like under the table and her mom was bent over.
Yeah, like you only see like 30% of like her mom's.
You see like specifically like half of her face and like only one of her leg, and like the way that her body is contorted is very, very specific to the frame.
They do that a lot. They only show like pieces of people, and they'll have them obscured off screen. So, I mean, I very much, talking about it being a point of view, it was very easy for me to identify with Lacey, the child.
Absolutely.
Eccentric, I would, my synopsis, I suppose, eccentric and disturbed Bob's Burgers kid, Lacey, and her crunchy new age mom, Janet, are in a codependent relationship. Through across one summer break, we see the people that come in and out of Janet's orbit, and I guess also the things that they bring out in her mom that like she hadn't maybe seen before, and sometimes doesn't like. Lacey is basically getting a window into how fucked up adults are, and how she's not gonna be magically unfucked up just from growing up. I mean, the movie starts off pretty strongly with a extended scene of Lacey getting up out of her bunk and walking to the she starts off the movie at summer camp, and she the first line of the movie is, "Hi, I'm going to kill myself." Because Lacey is very manipulative. She threatens suicide to get picked up from summer camp, and then lies to her fellow campers about why she has to go home, and that some tragedy has struck, and them being supportive for her of this tragedy makes her realize that she actually has friends at summer camp and doesn't want to go home anymore. So she's perhaps exposed to things a tad early via like candid conversations with her mother, watching her mother interact with the people who orbit her life, coming and going after leaving lasting impressions on her. I mean, Janet trips in front of her child with a childhood friend of hers.
She does, yeah.
I think the movie really depicts this sort of like almost like, I don't know, I guess the like emotional the volatility of like emotions during a trip, just like the way like in your inputs and your outputs are so sensitive when you're tripping, and how like just the wrong word or like facial expression can totally send you like spiraling emotionally. I don't see that often the focus of movies that have tripping sequences.
We've watched a few of those.
Yeah. And I mean, both the way Queer and this movie talk about not necessarily tripping, but just like the interconnectivity of people and sort of all being parts of one body. Yeah, it's a little bit woo-woo, it's a little bit out there, but Janet Planet might be honestly one of my favorites of the year. Besides the other favorites. But no, I mean it's up there. Again, like the fact that it's very it's not very narrative focused. It's a character study, which makes the resolution a little bit up in the air. But I really liked it. The ending. I don't know if we want to. I because like the movie is like a lot about Janet's love interests and basically like a lot of the people come into her life and they all fall in love with her. There's even a line where Janet says that she's always thought that she could make anybody fall in love with her. It's all very personal, and then, like I said, the ending. I mean, with everyone swing dancing, it's just like, you know, every time like the shot changes, Janet is spinning around with a new partner, and it feels like Lacey is maybe starting to get comfortable sharing her mom, and maybe happy to see her happy, or, you know, just sort of spread her wings a little bit, and rather than like a chick leaving the nest, the chick is watching her mom leave the nest or step outside of the nest.
It's beautiful.
More than normal. It is. It is getting another A+ out of me.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one as well. I'm sorry. You also just read my mind because that's what I was gonna give it.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. We're actually moving at quite the downtown pace. Believe it or not. I say we've only it's only 3. Anyways. Okay, Anora?
Huh?
Anora?
Yeah.
We do Anora.
Hello, this is the beautiful Annie.
Hi, I'm Annie.
I'm Ivan.
It was really weird. Like, I love him. No way. Yes way. Bruh. And I'm seeing him again tonight.
Will you marry me?
Seriously?
Seriously.
3 carats?
What about 4?
You hit the lotto, bitch.
I know.
Bro, didn't I tell you?
Are you happy?
Very happy.
Ivan, your parents are gonna kill you.
I love my husband.
You do not know this guy.
We are consenting adults.
If you think this is gonna be allowed, you're dead wrong.
Do not touch me.
All right, so Sean Baker's Anora, the winner of the Palme d'Or last year. It's let's see. So there's a Cinderella story. There's another Cinderella story, and then there's Anora Cinderella story.
Once Upon a Song.
Once Upon a Song. The fuck is that?
Oh wait. Stop. There's been so many. Okay, no, another Cinderella story. Once Upon a Song.
A Cinderella story, another Cinderella story.
A Cinderella story, Once Upon a Song, is from 2011, and that one was.
And there's Cinderella Man.
Lucy Hale.
Oh right, yeah.
But apparently, there was also in 2016 was a Cinderella story. If the shoe fits. Apparently, looking dumb as fuck. And then in 2019 there was a Cinderella story, Christmas Wish.
A Cinderella story, Redux.
But there's like all different directors
Cinderella
too.
story, Hot Frosty.
And then there's a Cinderella story, Starstruck, which was from 2021.
A Cinderella story, Starship Troopers.
Oh my god, and it's that annoying ass girl, Bailey Madison.
Bailey Madison.
God, they should have stopped. They should have stopped after another Cinderella story. Honestly, the Lucy Hale one I'll watch, but it was bad.
Bailey what? Madison?
Yeah. With ease, yeah.
Ugh, Canadian. Sorry, Tony.
But
wait, her?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Ew. No. No.
Dude, she's older than me.
She should have died as a child.
She's older than me.
Not allowed to grow up. Older than you, but younger than me? Yeah. That's weird. I have such a weird relationship, like a space-time relationship with child actors that are close to my age. Like,
because you just think of her as just a child. She's a child.
I think of her as a little baby child.
But she's older than me, which is weird.
Yeah. Anywho.
Oh my god. She started acting at 2 weeks old.
Jeez. She was probably like a baby in something, a literal baby.
Oh no, it said she was in commercials as a baby, yeah.
She's like the Gerber baby or something. Anyway, so yeah, so there's a Cinderella story, another Cinderella story, another Cinderella story, and now a Nora Cinderella story. Okay, so
see, this one kind of reminded me of like a modern day Pretty Woman a little bit as well, but I mean, different twist.
I can see why you say that, because sex worker.
And the whole, like, oh, I want to hire you for a week to be my girlfriend, and then they kind of fall in love, but it's not the same as... It's not the same.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't seen Pretty Woman, so...
Are you kidding me?
No. I mean, I've seen scenes. So yeah, Anora is about a...
That's how I know her. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal and Anora. She's a fucking TikTok star.
Oh, Ivy Volk? Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was controversy because she was like I don't know. I heard that it was when she was really young, but apparently she was like very racist online.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But it might have been when she was a child. I don't know.
I mean, she did start at 13.
Heard.
Began posting comedic videos on TikTok, which is crazy that she did that at 13.
Ivy woke.
Oh my god!
What?
She's only 20. That's why I was like, she started making TikToks at 13.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Jesus Christ.
So that was only 7 years ago.
So she was.
Which was 2018.
In
Stop it. Stop it right now.
That's no.
When you did that, you put the cord in between my toes.
I'm so sorry.
Can you remove it? Move the cord.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Right. So Anora is about a young woman who is an erotic dancer, and she has a whirlwind romance with her Russian John. She they spend some time together, and then they spend a whole week together. All of this, this time is bought. And they on a whim get married in Vegas, and everything seems to be going hunky dory. And then his Russian oligarch parents find out that he has married an American stripper, or an American hooker, as they say. And all hell breaks loose when they send his father's goons to Ivan, her husband, Ivan's house, and when he is informed that his parents are on the way to America from Russia, Ivan, or Vanya as he's referred to, bails on his newlywed, and goes missing for a significant portion of the movie. It turns into a searching for her husband with his father's goons that have sort of taken her hostage, so that they can find him, get the marriage annulled, and rid themselves of Anora. The movie is both heartbreaking and hilarious. And like a lot of people's favorite movie of the year. and a lot of people's favorite movie of the year to hate on because no one's allowed to have fun. Yeah, I think this one will also be one that this will be one that we, I think, do spoil.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone's seen it already because it's so good.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the hate has to do with the fact that, well, Sean Baker. I have not seen the other Sean Baker movies. His first movie, Tangerine, I became aware of him because of that, because he was one of two directors to, I think the other one is being Steven Soderbergh, to use an iPhone to film a feature film.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that the Steven Soderbergh in like 2018, I think, did Unsane, which was a movie about a woman being put in a mental hospital. A woman checking in or being forced into a mental hospital. I can't remember, but basically her stalker works at the mental hospital. It's like a psychological thriller. It was pretty good. And honestly, at least at the time, I wouldn't have known it was shot on an iPhone. So that it gave me hope for being able to start a film career with an iPhone. And then I heard of Tangerine, and I was very interested in seeing Tangerine for the same reason. I saw Unsane, not knowing it was shot on an iPhone. Later found out it was, and then found out Tangerine was as well. Wanted to watch it, and I didn't because honestly, the trailer it just depressed me because Unsane did not look like it was shot on an iPhone, and Tangerine very much did. But the difference is that was Sean Baker's first film, whereas Unsane was just an experiment for a very seasoned and successful director and skilled director. So it's different. He also did The Florida Project and Red Rocket, which I've only heard good things about. So definitely interested in going and checking out the rest of his budding filmography. But I think all of his movies deal with the main characters are either sex workers or retired sex workers.
Period.
So I think because that is the subject that he has chosen to focus on up until this point, I think you're always gonna have, depending on how you go about depicting it, of course, you're gonna if you make bold choices in those depictions, you're gonna have backlash. So I think, maybe like seeing this movie and it becoming your new favorite movie and you think it's the best movie ever made, I think the reaction is kind of to that. But I think a lot of the criticism for this movie comes in the form of just like, I think Rad Femmes sort of just having an issue with it's a man, a man depicting these things, a man writing these characters, and again, so this is where we get into spoiler territory. The end of the movie sees Anora hook up with one of the goons that she spent the movie hunting down her husband with, who in their first meeting physically assaults her in trying to keep her from leaving the mansion that she married into with her husband. Her husband bails, like I said. Vanya bails when he finds out that his parents are coming to America, and she's freaking out, and this goon is instructed to keep her from leaving. And at first is, keeping his hands to himself, but as Anora understandably gets more and more erratic and violent, he's forced to restrain her, which comes in the form of picking her up, and they kind of tumble all over the place, and they end up in a suggestive position. And also Anora is in a shirt and underwear, so it just
makes it worse.
But to be fair, Igor is in no way attempting to sexually assault her. He's just trying to.
He's just a nice guy.
He's just a nice guy. He's just a nice gopnik. He's just trying to keep her from destroying the whole fucking first floor, while keeping her in place. So, anyways, the end of the movie sees them hooking up in his car, and I think that mixed with the fact that and for what the movie is, which for about, I don't know, half of the movie, I mean, how long? It's 2 hours and 19 minutes. A little less than half of the movie is Anora at work at a strip club, or working with being on the clock as far as being Vanya's girlfriend for a week. And because of the nature of her job, she is sexualized. So yeah, for what the movie is, Anora is not overly sexualized, but there are a handful of scenes where they are fucking and she's naked.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple sex scenes.
Multiple, and I said that, but they're not
they're not overly long.
They're very quick, in montage a lot of times.
Yeah.
And again, it's what the story. I mean, it's what the relationship was.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, it really was the entire time. They never really got anywhere deeper because of the circumstances.
And I think, regardless, yes, this is depicted by a man. The character of Anora itself is, I mean, as someone who's not a rad femme, who is a normal level and respectable level of feminist, that includes all women, I think that if you're a normal person who respects sex workers, and you're a woman specifically, I feel like this role it is very empowering for people. I think it can be because, yes, she's a stripper, yes, she's a sex worker, and in the entire fucking movie, she doesn't take any shit. She always even though she's a little delusional because it was very early into the relationship, she stood her fucking ground. She was confident. She never wavered in anything. She was, I'm gonna do this. He is my husband. I am going to talk to him. This is how it's going to happen.
For a lot of the movie, she does not have agency, but you wouldn't know that based on how she behaves. Mm-hmm. She's she at no point has the reins or has control of the situation, but she is constantly wrestling for control of the situation and doing a good job of dominating both physically and just, I guess, conversationally dominating the men at different points. Never successfully, ultimately, But I mean, she fucks shit up.
Yeah.
And she insists upon herself. And I mean, she's never, for even a second, even when she's bound and gagged, a damsel in distress. Like I said, she has no agency for a lot of the film, but you would never know just by looking at her or hearing her or whatever. But anyways, back to what the controversy. I think that you can either, okay, like Pretty Woman is not Sarah Jessica Parker, but
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, I would imagine, is, aside from maybe being foul-mouthed, like a perfect prostitute. Yeah? Okay.
I don't even think there's a sex scene in that movie. Like, you don't see her boobs. No, I think you do see her boobs.
We got boobs. We got Robert. We got Julia Roberts.
So I think you can write a sex worker character that is completely a victim, or a sex worker that is completely in control and completely sanitized, and never where she always maintains the power, or she can never have power. And you can write a sex worker character who is vastly over-sexualized, and again with the Julia Roberts type, completely under-sexualized. And I think they went for a more nuanced, real life person, and that is, the closer you get to real life, I think the more easy it is for the depiction, sex worker or not, to come with controversy. I think her decision to hook up with Igor at the end, while it might make you feel uncomfortable, that's the point in one way. It's just true. Like, it's true for Anora, and it's true for some women. Or people. Sometimes when you are, I mean, she's been through it. She's been on an emotional roller coaster, running on barely any sleep, like maybe a few winks in the car. She's been through it. I mean, she spent the whole night looking for her husband, being, held hostage or whatever. And then that whole morning, basically, like, realizing that her husband is not who she thought he was, and then eventually being disrespected by him and his family, going from married to not married in the span of a night. She's been through it. She has not really expressed any emotion aside from anger throughout the whole thing. So it just, to me, seems like a very human moment where she, like, you speak about Igor doing like the bare minimum or whatever, and like we said, he does stick his neck out for her.
That was more so when I was making just a comparison, because I guess I'll put myself out there for a second and like specifically talk about how I related to it. And like, a man who does what I say does the bare minimum is like, you come from something that you were constantly treated like fucking shit. One nice thing means the fucking world to you. And that also just comes from, for me, having a father that did not love you unconditionally. And
we getting real.
Well, yes. And like that last scene was honestly like hard for me to watch because I can relate to that exact fucking moment. Even though I haven't done specifically that, it doesn't mean I haven't put myself in like situations with men because of they did like one nice thing for me and I was like, oh my god, like you're such a good person, like wanting to basically be her, like, you know, in that situation, being like.
And I think for me that scene was not transactional. Like, yes, him giving her ring back was like the cherry on top of, like, you know, whatever, him being a nice guy.
Yeah.
Him deserving sex.
And that's a thing that comes from her, that is based on, you know, what she has, how she has been living her life and how, you know, she has been treated and everything, that she thinks that is the correct response. And when she realizes like what the fuck she's doing, she just starts sobbing. And like that was really real.
It's real.
It's real as fuck. It's real as fuck.
That's why people have a problem with it. It makes them uncomfortable. It either makes them uncomfortable because they see themselves in it, or it makes them uncomfortable because they think that Sean Baker is saying that this is all women or all sex workers. And
it made me uncomfortable, but it didn't. I loved the movie because that's what a movie is supposed to do. I'm supposed to be able to find ways to relate to it and then become uncomfortable when I can see myself in it, because you're not supposed to be doing shit like that. That's not how you're supposed to do
holding up
shit.
a mirror to your life.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it also, and again, it goes hand in hand with why people are upset. I think because of Anora's predicament, her line of work, and whatever her life looks like before the movie, and like the things that drove her to make the decisions she made in life, I think whatever that is, she's someone who one of the only ways she knows how to express love or gratitude is by giving her body away.
They want to use their body.
And to clarify, that is not my interpretation of what is going on in Anora's head. It is one possible explanation. Because she's a nuanced character and we don't know what's going on in her head, people are making assumptions.
And I think people reduce that down to like, oh, like that's all she is. Or they think that it's like a statement about sex workers or women in general. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's just this knee-jerk reaction to be like, this is not authentic. This is a man's creation. And like it is, but
it's like, if you paid attention, when does she start crying? After he's trying to fucking kiss her while they're fucking, because he actually cares about her and
when he tries to make it tender and personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She realizes, oh my god, like I've fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
because
she genuinely does like him back.
And, I mean, really, Igor is like in her corner silently the whole movie. Like, he's supporting her in little ways and more in more important ways as the movie nears the end. Yeah, like you put it perfectly. So, yeah, it may not be groundbreaking, but movies have been around for over 100 years. Something truly being groundbreaking is, and now we've sort of reached the meta part of the review, but thinking this movie was really good is not the same as saying there's never been a movie like this.
No, because literally halfway through the movie I was like, okay, so this is kind of just like Pretty Woman, until it stopped being like Pretty Woman. But I also like movies that take inspiration from other movies.
There ain't a movie that doesn't. There's not a movie that doesn't.
Exactly.
Everything is pastiche. There are no original stories. There are no original ideas. Every story is a new spin on a story that was told in Greece 1,000 years ago. It's finding new ways to tell the same story. And that's pretty much that. Someone said I think someone said like Anora, the entire like supporting cast of Anora could be the only nominations for like best supporting actor this year, and they'd be happy with it. I think it's a bit much, but the supporting cast is excellent in this movie. The goons, especially, they're probably their chemistry with Mikey Madison is probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the majority, it's one of the majority parts of the movie, but yeah. It's just a really, really good movie. It's really fun. It's really touching, and it's really real.
Mm-hmm.
And people just need to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I don't know, let people be flawed without, making it into some sort of generalizing depiction of a type of person. I don't know. Anyways, what are you giving Anora, Sarah? I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to let you lead the pack now because, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going to make our gradings that much different. I think we're probably still going to be on the same wavelength, but we'll just see. Because I've already got my grade written down.
A+.
Okay.
What did you have?
I gave it an A.
I had a feeling you would gave it an A.
My gradings are fluid; they can change, but I think I might be going with the A just because of wanting to maybe. I think maybe, even though I am against the Anora hate, that doesn't make me above. That doesn't make me above having snobbish feelings towards people who like it a lot.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I had to really think because I'm like, girl, just because you really enjoyed a movie doesn't mean you give it an S. Because you have to, and also, it's not an S tier.
It's not.
It's not. And I just have to,
here's
like,
the thing,
that's where I have to stop being a girl.
The thing about S is that S is supposed to be perfect. So
Yeah.
we should almost never be giving a right. We should almost never be giving movies an S. Like that is the rarest of the rare.
Yeah.
I
like Wicked.
I should go back. I feel like I think me and Malik gave The Whale S. And I think that was probably my biggest regret about how our reviews for 2022 went. I think The Whale was very good, but it's nowhere near an S. That's just crazy. So I think if anything's even gonna get an S, I don't even know if it's appropriate to give it that now. It's like you have to wait.
Yeah.
But
it has to age like wine.
Exactly. But I mean, also, I mean, I've seen it twice now, and I think it holds up. It's just as enjoyable. So I mean, if a movie, because a lot of times a movie being new or seeing a movie in theaters can greatly inflate your opinion of it.
Oh, for sure.
So I think, I mean, the fact that my opinion has not gone down after my second viewing of Anora means that it's definitely it's
oh
wow, it's definitely solid, and it has the potential to, like you said, age into a even higher grading. But if you're scratching at an S, you're doing great.
And I just think my
My
urge to want to do that is just because of the response that elicited from me, specifically with how, like, the ending and how I just connected with that, and it was relatable, and like that.
And you know what? I think that in honor of David Lynch, I would like to tell you that you should trust your emotions. Like we said, these are personal experiences, and a good movie is going to stir your emotions in whatever, a good way or a bad way, whatever. So if you find yourself really resonating with something and you found that something really affected you emotionally and that pushes you towards wanting to give it whatever high praise, I think you should be unafraid to give it that praise, even if there's caveats or whatever. If it did something, if it moved something within you, it has to be at least a good movie. So,
and it is.
All right. I think if we are efficient with our time, we're not going to do both Lucas. We're not going to do both Luca pictures, and I think we should watch Challengers again, if we can. So
today?
No, what the fuck?
I was like, wait, what?
No. So for our final film of the afternoon, we are going to talk about Luca Guadagnino's Queer.
A wise old queen who taught me that I had a duty to live, to conquer hate with knowledge and sincerity and love.
The difficulty is to convince someone else he is really part of you.
What else should I be? All apologies. What else should I say?
I've got bigger fish to fry.
Bigger fish is right. Cold, slippery, hard to catch.
In the sun.
What's she got to lose?
The sun
Independence.
in the sun. In the sun.
I want to talk to you.
Married, buried,
without speaking.
buried, all in all.
So, Queer James Bond. Although this is my second time seeing James Bond play a gay man, but first time seeing him be depicted as sucking dick. Let's go to. So this is a very
sucking cock and balls.
This is a very I don't know. It's not necessarily the most serious movie in tone, but it's definitely a movie that deserves you to be taken more seriously than me and Sarah were taking it. I have the most vapid and heinous notes for this movie. So yeah, Queer is based on a book by William S. Burroughs, and the book is directly inspired by Burroughs' own life and the character of Lee.
William Lee.
William Lee, obviously, is directly based on him. And as it probably is no surprise, it was an attempt for him to be like the most personal and open that he's ever been about his own shortcomings. This is the character of William Lee was basically supposed to be like everything about him that he hides and that he's afraid to be, and in so doing, so this character, his whole thing is about being completely out in the open and at least seemingly unafraid to be himself. It's again, this is another one that I think we benefited from not knowing exactly what it was about, because I had no idea that it was going to go the places that it went. But yeah, William Lee is living in Mexico City, which I guess at the time, a lot of white gay men left America for South America. And it was kind of intuitive to me watching the film. I didn't realize how historically true it was, but basically their status in South America as a white man who's gay, their status as a white man in South America sort of evens out the playing field as far as them being gay. Whereas like in America, they're surrounded by white guys and they're gay, so they're very marginalized. Whereas in South America, yeah, if someone knows they're gay, they're going to be marginalized a little bit, but they still have the sort of shield of white supremacy, preventing them from being too marginalized as they are. Their racial hierarchy protects them from being over marginalized as they would be in America.
Being gay. That makes sense.
As it was William S. Burroughs' most personal book, Luca Guadagnino describes this as his most personal movie. Sarah, what did you...
I think it was beautiful. At times uncomfortable to watch, but that was only because he just came on so strong at times, and
Yes.
it was cringy. It was cringy because Tangi...
He's very... Daniel Craig's William is very...
desperate.
He's desperate, and he kind of presents in like a theater kid, party clown, sad drunk type of way. He's very performative, and just dripping with desperation, literally, because it's hot in Topeka down there. He's drunk and he's desperate,
and high,
and high, and gay, and so he, we see him cruising in Mexico City, and but specifically pining after sort of like this new hot young twink in town, Eugene, and Eugene is closeted for sure.
Yeah.
It's weird because at first he's so reserved, but then like he talks to an even gayer man and like without hesitation publicly is like, hey, take me around to the gay clubs. But by the second half of the movie, it's pretty cemented that he is in the closet and in denial of his sexuality.
Yeah, they actually like only like penetratively fuck once, at least on screen.
I think that was meant to be
the one.
It was at least the first.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
Because at this point, when they do fuck, they are in South America, no longer in Mexico City, which is where the first like half of the movie takes place.
Yeah, the first part of the movie is in Mexico City with Daniel Craig sort of courting Eugene and having their initial hookup, and then halfway through their courtship, Daniel Craig starts talking about his desire to find some drug in South America that allows you to experience telepathy, and that drug turns out to be ayahuasca. And so they end up going on a trip to South America to find some sort of shaman that can find them ayahuasca and can guide them through their ayahuasca trip.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying?
Yeah. I think specifically they were in Ecuador. They mentioned a few cities there. And so specifically, like when they're down in South America, you see them fuck for the first time, and then like later on you see, like, just Lee just try to touch him in a just tender way, not even like necessarily sexual. They were closed and Eugene was eating breakfast and Eugene literally pushes him off. And
he fell down.
Yeah. But
he's
and then you see
because he's going through withdrawals.
Yeah, and then you see, and then Lee apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have knowing last time, and it just kind of alludes to the fact that Eugene has not enjoyed anal sex. Sorry, I get that was
They don't allude to it. They have a conversation about it right after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's increasingly becoming more like disinterested, and
it's not until they hook up for the first up until they hook up for the first time, but not the full on sex, but when William blows him and he gives him a hand job, leading up until that hookup, he's not. I don't think he's ever really cold to him.
Yeah.
He's
not
aloof.
necessarily.
He's aloof,
he's not very ever. He doesn't ever initiate anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of also barely responds to anything. He kind of just goes with everything.
It's kind of cold fish.
Yeah. I mean, he fucking vomits before they hook up for the first time.
Yeah, but he's committed to it.
Yeah. Which is surprising.
William is a top, but he also gives head, which I know is not exclusive to bottoms, but I know that there are tops that have an aversion to giving head in the same way that there are straight guys that have an aversion to eating pussy. And so we find out, that he swallows. James Bond swallows. The
important aspects of the movie.
Well, I'm getting there. So we know that William
swallows.
He likes a cumtini, dry, swallowed, not stirred. When they have they have their ayahuasca trip in the final act of the movie, and now this is a more trippy version, like the more classic version of a trippy movie. Although it is very deeply emotional, but they also do the psychedelic trippy shit, and their bodies are morphing together. It's symbolic of the sort of self-annihilation that you experience when you fall in love with someone and you sort of become one blob, and they're experiencing the boundaries of themselves disappear and becoming one, like I said, blob. And during this Yage trip, Sara said she wanted to see their cocks morph together.
Right, now you had to out me.
I think this may have the best soundtrack of any movie this year so far. The needle drops were fucking superb. Again, major spoilers. At the very end of the movie, we see William has grown old but alone. And we see him die, and I'll save the emotional part of that scene. We'll keep the emotional story intact, so that's not spoiled for you. But yeah, we see him die, and sort of we see, I guess, maybe like his spirit emanating from his body, and it's depicted as just like waves of colored lights.
Yeah.
All sorts of colors, all the colors of the rainbow. And
And then
Sarah
I
said,
said, this is what happens when a gay person dies.
This is what happens when gay people die.
Yes. The colors come out.
And yeah, and we happened to see that this movie was described on IMDb as being very very Lynchian. And that turned out to be very true. It was what was it? What was it? There was another. What else did we watch? I don't know. But yeah, it was very reminiscent of a David Lynch movie, and I love the happy accident of watching a very aesthetically David Lynch movie. And I mean, the storytelling also is very, very Lynch. Like it's emotions first. The emotions guide you through the story in the same way a David Lynch movie would. And we saw that on the day that David Lynch passed. And then because of that, we decided Sarah should see Mulholland Drive for the first time. And so we capped the day off with Mulholland Drive. And well, first I think we should rate Queer. Queer.
Damn.
What?
IMDb rated it low.
Oh yeah. No, I mean this movie. A lot of people were disappointed by it. Unfortunately.
Oh.
I think it got a similar. I think it got similar reactions to maybe that guy saw a TV Glow or something. But no, I mean I think. Again, I think that movies like these, the more surreal, emotional, less. I mean, this has a narrative, but it's the climaxes and the highs and lows come from the emotions of the characters, and it's all very subjective and surreal and impressionistic. So movies like that tend to be sort of. You need to dig deep. You need to have seconds and thirds, and spend time with it. I mean, I'm not disappointed at all, but I mean, it's not. I mean, this movie has the potential, I think, to move up in my Guadagnino rankings. Like Challengers is still probably still my favorite movie of the year. But like down the line, I could see Queer overtaking it. I did hear that. I'm just a professional.
God. Well, I'm happy to not be a professional because I love acknowledging my children and when they do cute things.
Oh my God.
She's so pretty.
Like, Challengers is fun. It's a very tight script, but I don't. But it's also not. It's not like a very like humanistic, emotionally moving movie. This is. So like, whereas Challengers might be a much tighter story, I'd probably gravitate towards a second viewing of Queer before a second viewing of Challengers if the podcast didn't exist, and we would, obviously we'll go back to Challengers. We would go back to Challengers first because we already reviewed Queer, but yeah, I think Queer's got much more to dig into as far as character and emotions, whereas Challengers is just like I said, a really tight script. So, rating for Queer?
I was going to give it an A.
Solid A. Okay. Because it requires repeat viewings, I'm going to give it a tentative B+. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Why don't you just do your damn job?
Hey. subscribe to the Patreon. Tangi's on her way to you, Zack. Funny. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/TVP pod. TVP pod. There are gonna be some gooch pics up as per usual. This time it will be Daniel Craig's gooch. But other than that, subscribe to that Patreon for those exclusive gooch pics. Patreon.com/TVP pod.
And on that note, I think because of our current situations, it's just, I mean, for the last month or couple months, it's been hard enough getting together virtually to record one episode a week. So we're gonna not promise bonus content for a while. I mean, we haven't even gotten our Acolyte series done, and at this point, I don't even know if anyone cares.
I mean, I was just saying that there was going to be Daniel Craig gooch pics.
And there will be, and there are, and they're already up there. And go look at them.
There's pictures up, guys. There's just not full episodes up yet.
There are actually. We have extended. We have a handful of extra long episodes.
I lied. I'm sorry.
We have. Anyways, from one music video that I posted at the beginning of this month, it was the first time a parody got actually I'll post a parody and it'll come back with a copyright flag or whatever, and then I'll dispute it because it's a parody and I wrote it and I performed it, and it always just comes back. I always win. Typically the companies don't, they either, sometimes they'll just approve it or sometimes they just never acknowledge it, and so their ability to dispute it expires and I win. But the Dave Matthews parody that I posted earlier this month, was, I lost the battle.
How?
I think it's because of the music video, not the music itself. They didn't like that I used the video, so I had to delete it. Otherwise, I'd get a strike on the YouTube channel. So I'm going to put that on the Patreon.
So you can make money off of it, which is even more illegal.
Yeah, except we don't make money off the Patreon. So
I thought you have to pay to subscribe.
We don't have any subscribers.
Don't out us.
I won't. I'll edit it out, but I'm telling you.
I know.
Okay. Yes, so to potentially make money off of it, but that's a problem for another time. But also because it's exclusive, how are they gonna know?
Yeah, it reminds me of our old friend Fit is Flat Earther, and a lot of his stuff he posts to his subscription because TikTok requires him to say that it was for entertainment purposes only.
He posts it on TikTok, but under it's behind
and he goes
a paywall.
in more depth.
Yeah.
In behind the paywall.
These conspiracies are illegal. Yeah. So subscribe to the Patreon. Encourage us to give you content by subscribing. We're done promising the production of bonus content without anyone paying for it. So we know what we got.
Sorry, I had to put it back on.
We know what we got, and we ain't gonna sell it, or I don't know. But anyways, subscribe. We will be back next week with more of the film series. So we're making good time. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And I hope you enjoyed Village Studios, because hey, the chemistry's back. Gonna try to do this more often. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, we will be Silencio.
sin saber que he estado llorando por tu amor, llorando por tu amor, luego de tu adiós sentí todo mi dolor, sola y llorando, 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 llorando. No es fácil de entender que al verte otra vez yo esté llorando. Yo que pensé que te olvidé, pero es verdad, es la verdad, que te quiero aún más, mucho más que ayer. Dime tú qué puedo hacer, no me quieres ya, y siempre estaré llorando por tu amor, llorando por tu amor. Tu amor se llevó todo mi corazón y quedó llorando, 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 llorando.
R.I.P. to the GOAT, David Lynch.
#77 WT